Good morning, children. We are now starting our part B of the syllabus, Analysis of Financial Statements. And today we are going to see a very important technique and tool for analysis of financial statements. Now, before I go into the detail of this chapter, I would just like to remind you previous year in class 11, we have prepared final accounts or financial statements where we made trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Same financial statements are prepared by proprietorship firm, what we saw last year in class 11. Then partnership firms also prepare the financial statements, and the companies also prepare the financial statements. And this particular part of our syllabus, that is analysis of financial statements, is only and only related to the financial statements of the companies. Now, we have seen that accounting data are represented by preparing financial statement, but accounting data in financial statement is in complex form. So one of the tool or technique to convert it into simple form is accounting ratios or ratio analysis. It is a technique of financial statement which is most widely used technique to interpret quantitative relationship between two variables of the financial statements. You all must have studied ratio in your junior classes. So if it is asked what is ratio, we have to answer it very simply that ratio is an arithmetical expression of relationship between two interdependent or related items. When this ratio is expressed in accounting terms or accounting variables or for accounting data, it becomes an accounting ratio. So the next question can be, what is an accounting ratio? When ratio is calculated on the basis of accounting information, it is known as an accounting ratio. Thus, accounting ratio may be expressed as an arithmetical relationship between two accounting variables. Now, children, we must also understand why are we going to do accounting ratios in our syllabus or the portion. As I told you, it serves the purpose of various users who are interested in the financial statements. It simplifies, summarizes, and systematizes the figures in the financial statements, which are in the complex form, into a simple accounting information. And it also assesses the operating efficiency of the business. It equally analyzes the profitability of the business, and it is very helpful. Accounting ratios are helpful in comparative analysis. So now we are going into detail of an accounting ratio. First of all, we should understand how do we express these ratio in accounting. So the expression of ratio in accounting is mainly in four forms. So we can see here accounting ratios can be expressed in any of the following forms. Number one, pure ratio. In this form, the relationship between two variables is expressed in ratio. For example, 2 is to 1, 3 is to 2, or you can say 1.5 is to 1. So the first form in which the ratios are expressed is pure ratio or pure form. The next or the second one is percentage. In this form, the expression of accounting variable is done in percentage. For example, 20%, 25%, etc. So when you arrive at the final answer, you have to put a percentage sign to express it in percentage form. Third is times. In this form, it is expressed in number of times a particular figure is when compared to another figure. For example, 2 times, 1.5 times, etc. And the last expression of ratio is in the form of fraction. In this form, accounting variables are expressed in fraction. For example, 3 by 4, 1 by 2, etc. So these are the four ways in which accounting ratios can be expressed. Now we must also go through what is analysis of financial statement, the meaning of analysis of financial statement, and how ratios are helpful for the analysis of financial statement. So analysis of financial statements when done with the help of accounting ratio is known as ratio analysis. It is a study of relationship among various financial factors in a business. Later on, we will also talk about the objective of doing ratio analysis. We will see the advantages of ratio analysis and also go through the limitation of ratio analysis in our online class. For accounting purpose, we are going directly into the topic classification of accounting ratios. We can also call it types of accounting ratios. We may also say kinds of accounting ratios. So this entire chapter accounting ratios is classified in four categories. You can see here it's written, it is classified into four categories. Number one, the classification number one says liquidity ratios. Liquidity ratios. By this term liquidity, we mean the firm's ability to meet its current obligation or short-term liabilities. Then it says solvency ratios. The second categorization of ratio is solvency ratios, which is all about meeting the firm's long term liabilities, and that comes under solvency ratios. The third category is activity ratios, which are also known as turnover ratios, and finally the profitability ratio. So these are the four categories under which all the ratios are expressed in this chapter, accounting ratios. And today we are going to see the first category, which is called liquidity ratios. So you must revise from your book the content given regarding the topics which we have discussed just now. When you will read the chapter, in the beginning they have given you meaning of ratio and accounting ratio, expression of ratio is given in the book, objectives, advantages and limitations are also specified in initial 3 to 4 pages, and after that we will come directly into the categories or the classification, and today we are going to see the first kind of ratio known as liquidity ratios. These liquidity ratios are also called as short-term solvency ratios because it refers to the firm's ability to meet its current obligations, that is short term liabilities. And liquidity ratios are those ratios which are computed to evaluate the capability of the business enterprise to meet its short term liabilities. And the most commonly used liquidity ratios are number one, current ratio, number two, liquid ratio or quick ratio, or it is also known as acid test ratio. So under this first category liquidity ratio, let us see the first ratio of the chapter, which is known as current ratio. One of the very important ratio in our chapter. It is called current ratio. So what is a current ratio? It is a liquidity ratio that measures ability of the enterprise to pay its short-term financial obligations. That is current liabilities of the business. It establishes the relationship between current assets and current liabilities. Since it is known as current ratio, the formula goes current ratio is equal to current assets by current liabilities. And this current ratio, which comes under liquidity category, is always expressed as pure ratio. We have seen the four classification of ratios. The first one was pure ratio. So our current ratio, or we can say liquidity ratios, are always expressed in pure form. Now, this current ratio has a standard ratio which is considered as a benchmark, and the standard current ratio is always 2 is to 1, which means your current assets should always be twice of current liabilities. So as you can see, it's written here, an ideal current ratio is 2 is to 1. You must not forget that it is an ideal current ratio, also known as standard for current ratio or benchmark for current ratio of any business enterprise. So that's all about current ratio. Children, you should remember what is a current ratio, what is the formula for current ratio, and what is an ideal current ratio of a business enterprise. So when you do questions, the formula will be applied very exhaustively. So now we move with the second category of liquidity ratios, which is known as liquid ratio or quick ratio or acid test ratio. Please remember the synonymous quick ratio and acid test ratio for liquid ratio. You should know all these three names. Now, liquid ratio or quick ratio or acid test ratio is a liquidity ratio which measures the ability of the enterprise to meet its short-term financial obligations, that is current liabilities. It establishes the relationship between liquid assets and current liabilities. So the formula goes liquid ratio is equal to liquid assets, or we can say quick assets, by current liabilities. So what has changed from the current ratio to liquid ratio is only the numerator, liquid assets. Denominator is same, but the numerator here becomes liquid assets. Now, this is also a liquidity ratio, so it is expressed always in a pure form or pure ratio. Now, the ideal current ratio. So, an ideal liquid ratio, I'm sorry it was written as quick current ratio, but it should be liquid ratio, is 1 is to 1. It is also known as a standard or benchmark for a liquid ratio of a business enterprise. So this is about liquid ratio or quick ratio or acid test ratio. Children, we have already discussed in online class what are the list of current assets and current liabilities. So I'm not discussing here those list of current assets and current liabilities with which you are already familiar. So in the previous chapter, we have already discussed what are current assets, its examples, and what are current liabilities, its example. But here at this point, you must understand what is the difference between a current asset and liquid assets. So you may please note down that all current assets are also liquid assets or quick assets except prepaid expenses and inventory. I repeat, all current assets are also liquid assets except prepaid expenses and inventory, which means stock. So if from the list of current assets you remove inventory and prepaid expenses, you arrive at what is known as liquid assets. So do not forget this. It's very clearly mentioned in the chapter, also in the book. So prepaid expenses and inventory are two current assets which are not liquid assets. Otherwise, all other current assets are also liquid assets. I hope this is clear to all of you now. So our first category of liquidity ratio is completed, which includes current ratio and which ratio? Current ratio and liquid ratio. Now we are moving with the second category or classification of ratios called solvency ratios. So solvency ratios are better known as long-term solvency ratios, because solvency of a business means that the business is in a position to meet its long-term financial obligations when they become due. Unlike the short-term liabilities in category 1, which was liquidity ratio. So we are going to see now solvency ratios one by one, and the first and the most important solvency ratio coming up is known as debt to equity ratio. The second is total assets to debt ratio. The third is proprietary ratio. And the fourth one is interest coverage ratio. Now let us go into the first kind of solvency ratio, which is debt equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio shows relationship between long-term external equities and internal equities of the enterprise. It is computed to assess long-term financial soundness of the enterprise. The formula says debt equity ratio is equal to debt by equity. Equity is also known as shareholders fund, whereas debt includes long-term borrowings plus long-term provisions of the business enterprise. And equity or shareholder funds will include share capital and reserves and surplus of the business. Debt to equity ratio is expressed just like liquidity ratio in pure form. So children, this equity word should be very clearly understood by you. Now, equity means funds belonging to shareholders, both equity and preference share capital of the company, and also the reserves and surplus, which is known as retained earnings. So while doing the questions, we have to be very careful what are included in equity. It includes equity share capital, it includes preference share capital, it includes all types of reserves and surplus which we have gone through in the balance sheet of company. So that is about the first kind of solvency ratio known as debt to equity ratio, an important ratio of the chapter. Now we move with the second category of solvency ratio, which is known as total assets to debt ratio. So it says total assets to debt ratio shows relationship between the total assets and long-term debts of the enterprise. So total assets will include all the assets, current assets as well as long term assets, or we can call it as fixed assets or non-current assets. So the total of the asset side of balance sheet will be your numerator, which will be under total assets, and debt is long-term debts, which is same what we have seen in debt equity ratio. So this is the formula for total assets to debt ratio. This ratio is also expressed in pure form or pure ratio. The third category of solvency ratio is proprietary ratio. This ratio establishes the relationship between proprietors' funds and the total assets. Now, proprietary ratio is equal to proprietor funds, which is also known as shareholders' funds, or in the simple term, equity, which you have seen in the debt equity ratio, and it is divided by total assets. So when equity or proprietor fund or shareholder fund is divided by total assets, what we arrive at is known as proprietary ratio. I hope this is clear. Now the fourth category is interest coverage ratio under. So the fourth example of solvency ratio or the kind of solvency ratio is interest coverage ratio. This ratio establishes the relationship between net profit of the business, which is net profit before interest and tax, remember this, and interest on long term debts, that means borrowings. So the formula says interest coverage ratio is equal to profit before interest and tax divided by interest on long term debts. So when we say profit, it means net profit. Remember this. So this is all about the four types of solvency ratios and the two kinds of liquidity ratios. So what we have covered today is two categories of ratios. First is liquidity ratios and the second was solvency ratio. Under liquidity ratio, under solvency ratio, we have seen these four formulas: debt equity ratio, total assets debt ratio, proprietary ratio, and interest coverage ratio. Whereas in the first category, that is liquidity ratio, we have gone through most important ratio of the chapter, current ratio and liquid ratio. So today's class we ended in these two categories. I hope you all will revise this and please note down everything from this video in your notebook, because this is very important essence of the chapter before we go into numerical practice. Thank you. Have a very nice day and keep studying, revising, and practicing your chapters. Have a nice day.